What are you worth? What is she worth? What is he worth? What's your second cousin's friend's son, little Vinny, worth? We teach the little kids at MMA to know their worth. I ask them the question, what are you worth? And a choir of 4 to 8-year-old voices sings, I'm priceless. Of course, there's always that one kid that accidentally yells, I'm worthless, accompanied by a large smile. He just doesn't know the difference between the two words, but this adorable slip-up is the type of thing that gets me thinking. The type of thinking where I sit in my bed, stare up into space, but not like empty brain space, more like existential crisis detached from body space, and while I'm in that state, an invisible hand from the pits of hell pulls me into a weird acid trip like dream sphere. My actual dreams are a sometimes interesting, mostly terrifying place. My Martin Luther King Jr. type dreams have been deemed unrealistic hippie garbage. Trust me, I know how they sound, and I am reluctant to share them with other people because they just hear the surface of my words and take me as naive. What I think isn't about me being an incurable optimist with the innocence of a freshly birthed babe, because trust me, I am not that. I was called a fat lesbian in the halls of middle school. I've been through some rather traumatizing events. And after all, I am a high schooler in the monologue show. If anything, I should be cynical and full of angst. I think the major discrepancy comes from the fact that my ideas are simple and life is complicated. But I think some things in life should just be simple. All human life should be regarded as priceless. And this principle, acting as the overarching unbendable rule for all mankind, should be simple. This past October, we gave the kids the whole Knowing Your Worth speech as part of a month's moves and mat chats dedicated to bullying awareness. I cried a lot. It struck me as I looked around my gym that these creatures, these human beings, are the most perfect things in this world. They are composed of merriment and joy, and I have not one inkling as to why anyone would bully these kids, why anyone would harm these kids. Why do we have to teach these children that they will be bullied in their lifetime? In that moment, I realized that I have accepted people shitting all over you as an unavoidable part of life. But why? Who is the person that goes through my MMA babies and assigns them a worth they only become aware of later in their life? There has been a lot of conversation surrounding the tragedies in U.S. schools, and we are starting to recognize the fact that the lives of our precious children are being taken. I was talking with my friend about this the other day, and he brought up a very interesting point. He talked about how nobody cared when kids in the hood were getting shot. This got to me because it reminded me of when the Republican baseball team's practice got shot up, and it was all over the news for what seemed like a lifetime. I am sick and tired of hearing about Steve Scalise when people are killed every day just for where they live and nobody bats an eyelash. This drives me absolutely insane and brings me to a critical question. Why is Steve Scalise more important than Kanari Gentry Bowers, Takaya Holmes, or Levante White Jr.? Those are 3 children that were shot and killed this year, but I bet you've never heard their names. I guess they weren't as valuable as Steve Scalise's hit. The problem shouldn't have to climb its way up the social economical tower to be important. Human beings are dying, and that should never be something we're okay with. There's a reason there has to be a movement entitled Black Lives Matter. People probably need a reminder when 31% of victims killed by police in 2012 were black, yet black people made up only 13% of the population. People like to say, well, actually, all lives matter. But we need to turn our attention towards specific groups because we are not treating everyone like they matter. The murder rate of sex workers, like escorts, prostitutes, and strippers, is 51 times higher than the average person. This is acceptable and justifiable to us because these people are seen as disposable, lesser than human. But the facts are they bleed red just like the rest of us, and they are worth just as much as anybody else is. I do not care what means somebody goes to get their money. That at no point makes them more deserving of a bullet through the head. So, go ahead. Roll your eyes. It's okay, I get it. I'm just a little naive 16-year-old girl that doesn't have a clue about how the adult world works. My attitude towards life? It's cute, it really is laughable. But I know the truth. Before I was involved with helping the kids at MMA like I am today, a kid named Oliver joined the adult program. And my sensei paired us up because he was around the same size as me and only 1 year younger. Me and Oliver were MMA best friends, and I felt a certain responsibility concerning him, like he was a younger sibling. Oliver committed suicide on February 27th of this year. He was 15 years old. The world will never be able to produce another Oliver. The complexities and beauty of an individual are not manufactured and therefore cannot be replicated. So, to prevent these kids from growing up naive like me, I'm supposed to tell them some are worth more than others, right? I'm gonna keep telling the kids they're priceless. It's that simple.